Welcome back to the channel. I got this Traverse I've had for at least 7 years. It looks good at a quick glance, but it's starting to have a few problems. We got some bubbling going on the fender area. We got a big paint peel right here on the door. I don't understand why there. Could have been a grocery cart, stone chip, something like that started it. We got a little dab here on this rear corner. And let's see here. There's a couple more. The plastic panels obviously are fine. We got, where is it? Down here. We got this rust started. It looks like a hole in it. The door looks fine. This door, driver's side, I think is starting the same thing. It must be a molding issue. There's a bubble right here. You can see that. Yeah, there's a chip, something right here going on. So probably this molding retains water, maybe road salt behind it. So I may have to remove both of these. I'm not sure if these are glued on or if they got clips. I'll have to look that up, find out. And then we get around to the fender. It's not too bad here. But we come up here, there's a scratch and a bubble. And up here, it just flaked right off. Check that out. So, this car runs good. Well, wait a second. Here's one on the hood. See the bubbling? And a little bit, no, that's a bug, I guess. So on the left side of the hood, the rest of it looks pretty good. I haven't had any collisions. I got a clean Carfax when I bought it. And a CEO of the bank down here, local bank, had it. So it's very well maintained. I always took it to the dealer. So I was excited when I purchased it. And of course, the interior is pretty nice, clean, not banged up. Leather seats, a little bit worn, not too bad. And it's got the third row seating. So it's a desirable car, 6-cylinder, all-wheel drive, and it does not get stuck. And I've never had it stuck. I've had it 7 years. I drive it in the winter. I can come up the driveway with any amount of snowfall we've had without plowing and get in, not spin. Where the truck, the 4-wheel drive, I tend to spin a little bit, sometimes get it a little bit stuck. But this thing is awesome in the snow. But I think it's time to go. Dawson's getting his driver's license here soon. He's interested in possibly a small truck. He doesn't want to burn up all his money on fuel. The old 150 there, it rides nice, being a King Ranch. Got all the goodies, but it only gets like 10 to 12 miles to the gallon on average. We're up in the hill country. This car, I think I'm getting around 18, which isn't bad for a big, heavy car. I think it's 4,400 pounds or something. And but I want to send this down the road, and I'm not going to get the money that I would like having looks like this, because what they're going to say, obviously, is, well, the body doesn't look good. It's not pretty. This side isn't too bad. But like I said, on that door, that's ugly. And what I did, because it peeled, is I just grabbed whatever paint I had to get some color on it. But it's rusted. Let's get down close here. And it's really bad. And there might even be holes in it. Probably. So, probably have to remove this molding. It's a little dirty. We'll probably be sanding way up into here. Probably be sanding almost all the way to the corner. But we got to take care of this. Pretty it up a little bit. I think I'll just, get the paint code. 301. So it's like I don't know the color red it is, but it's metallic. It's a pretty color. And then I'll spray that area, try to blend it in a little bit. Put some clear coat on it. It's not going to be a professional job because I'm not a professional body man, obviously. But I think I want to pretty this up so that the next person might say, yeah, it looks average for the year. The underneath isn't too bad a shape. Exhaust is quiet. We just did the wheel bearings, brakes. sensors, things like that. We just serviced it. I would like to put it turnkey to somebody. If they buy it, they just jump in and go. And tires are good and stuff. So let's get some tools out. We're going to use very basic tools. I'm going to use like a random morbid sander. I'm going to blend it in, do what I can, put a little Bondo on it. I don't know if I have to do fiberglass patch here or something. We'll find out. These other areas, I'm not sure. But let's get a start on it. All right, we're going to do a little shade tree. Reason being is we're in a heat wave. It was 88 yesterday, and it's going to be another scorcher today, and I'm in the shade. And we're going to work outside, which is fine. What I want to do is get this molding off without hurting it. And right now, there's no body damage on it. And I got just an old tape knife. The edges I've rounded for something. And just get behind it. This is not a how-to video, obviously, but it's how I'm doing it. These are on with adhesive, usually. You hear the paint crumple, puncture. Look at that, there's a hole in the door. I just went in a hole. So this is pretty bad, guys. All right, there is a clip right here. And the hole around the clip is huge. So probably this clip is what ruined it. Instead of gluing the trim on, they punched a hole, and then the top of this probably held water. That's a stupid design. GM for you. You know I like my Ford products. But I'm going to try to get this off without harming it. And get whatever tools I need. This is pretty rough shape. Let's see how far apart these clips are going to be. So there's adhesive and clips. So we're going to do some body patching for sure. That's why I didn't want to sell this car like this, because it's somebody else's headache. This is showing the paint blister for about, I don't know, 2 years now. Probably should have tackled it then, but the best thing is not to have moldings and stuff on your car. Yeah, I don't know where the next one is, but I want to cut the adhesive without harming the rest of the body here. So, got a mosquito out here messing with me. So I'll probably go get some smaller tools. And it wouldn't hurt to paint this whole panel. I mean, it's not that big a deal. I was hoping the damage would be below a body line, but it goes up over into the curve here. So we'll have to come into a blend somewhere. So once I get this off, I'm going to get the probably the random orbit sander and just go crazy with like 80 grit and get this all cleaned up and find out where the damage is. And I'll probably have to get a piece of sheet metal and I'll probably spot weld it in there. So let me get this out of here. All right, I got this just about off. I think it's going to fall here. It's got 3 clips down it. What a stupid design. Start off with a hole in the door to exterior. And then it's glued on. Look at this. Road salt and dirt behind it. Look at that crap. Got clips. Why didn't he just stick it on, you know? So I got it off without hurting it. Got a couple little door dings in it, but we could probably paint this along with it and then just glue it back on. I'm going to salvage that. And we got to get these clips out, and there's dents around the clips. I think what we should do, get all this adhesive crap off from here. I'll bring out some different tools. And look at this big bubble here. All the junk gets behind it. What a stupid design. Don't put holes in the outside panels. That don't make sense. So I got to sand all this down. Probably, I guess I don't have to fill that dent up because we're going to put the molding back on, and then I'll get some adhesive and glue them back on, or some double-sided tape. But look at this. You know, just peeling off sheets. So, not a big deal. We'll go ahead and do that. This oblong hole, I'm not sure if I want to use these clips again, because they're really sloppy in there anyway. I probably might fill them right in. Like I said, it probably won't matter, but fill them right back in. And this one up here got a little damage along with it, so we're going to have to make a patch and weld that in there. And on the inside, there's nothing in the way, and the window will stay up. I should be able to weld in there. So I'll start sanding on this area, and I'll have to tape off this molding or pop that off. The more I take off, the more damage you find. So I might just tape that off, tape off the front fender, tape off this door, the back door, and then when I feather this in, I'll have to feather above the damage, block it in, whatever, and then but I'll get right to town with like 80 grit and get after this and see what's left. And I may have to take and tap it in a little bit, because I don't want it proud. I want it smooth, you know. So I could take it in on the lift. I would move it up 2 feet and get it up higher. But then I got all the dust and everything in the garage that I don't know if I want. Especially when it comes to Autobody stuff. It just stinks and dusty. Out here in the lawn, I mow the lawn, it'll go away, you know. That's it. I'm going to use a random orbit sander. Alright, well, I did the galvanized patch. I put it in the siding brake, and I bent that 1 3/4 dip. I took the grinder. I used that spider grinder bit, which, I don't know, says it'll work 10 times as stronger. I like it. It works good. I ground that down as good as I could. I decided, because of the foam and the, looks like the flammables inside the door, that I just pop rivet it. So I pop riveted it on there. Now we're going to get some fiberglass or some Bondo. Spread that on there. I think I got an open jug somewhere from the last job. And on those other 2 holes, I might just fill them, because I think I'd rather glue this on than use those I don't know what you call them, those mounts, because they don't fit tight anyway. All right. I cut out a couple pieces of like a backing patch, cover these holes up. I got some open Bondo from a couple years ago. Hopefully it's good. Got a couple applicators that I had. We got 2 hardeners, 1 new, 1 old. So I didn't bring out the paint stick. Use a piece of like plastic or something to mix it up on. It's not really a how-to video, as I explained. It's just the way I'm doing it. So do it your own advice, you know. I'm going to put out enough to do a thin coat on everything. And if it's about a, I don't know, ½ inch high, should be able to do like a one strip all the way across. Just work your hardener a little bit. We could use some etching primer. We could use all kinds of the correct stuff. We could use rust reformer. We could do work on the inside of the panel. We're not. We're just going to do this. So that should be plenty of hardener. That'll get us mixed and set up in about 15 minutes probably. So we'll just take one of the apple, probably the smaller one, fold it in so you don't get a lot of air bubbles. You get about maybe 5 minutes of working time. I don't know. Usually the cans are half full and you get ripped off, you know, and you don't get a lot of time to play with it. The price has gone up to triple. I think it's $20-some for that now. I used to buy these for $4.99. It's about a quart. I think they screw you out of that now. They give you X amount of ounces, a little less than a quart. Everybody's losing money, I guess. Let's get one consistent color, which looks pretty good. And then we're just going to put some on. I'm going to smush it right in the edges there. You don't want to build it up so high you got to sand forever. Oops, a little dribbly here. But you want to put on enough, we ain't got to do 15 coats of it. Like to push it in the edges of our metal we just put on. Kind of leave it a divot in there, which is going to make it easier to sand it. Remember, we're going to put that molding back on. I am a little sloppy with this. I don't care. Are you guys any good at it? I haven't done it in years. We used to have a Model T, a 57 Chevy, and a Model A we did a little body work on. I had a 67 Mustang I had to do a little Bondo work on. But I want to get a little dab on these. Enough that our patches stay on. That'll get our initial coat, you know. Put a little patch over the hole. A little more on. The more humid and hot or whatever, depends on the dry time you've got, you know. My throat kind of hurts. I've had this for about 10 days now, and I think it's pneumonia. Probably should be laying down, but I can't. Too restless all the time. It's going into pneumonia now, so usually it wears off, I guess, and naturally somewhat in 10 days. But I don't have much of a voice. See how fast that's setting up. So it doesn't give us a lot of working time. See, that's already setting up. I'm going to quit. Clean up my board a little bit so I can reuse my board. Let this dry on here and it'll snap right off when you're ready. We'll give that a rest. That did our holes initially. I'll run over it with the 80 grit paper, put on a second coat. I'll get a sanding block so I can do it flat. It should look pretty good. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. I'm going to throw my mask on here. I'm outdoors, got a little bit of breeze blowing, so I shouldn't breathe much of this anyway. I'm going to knock it down, see what we got, see how much of a second coat we got to put on, then see if I can find some glazing putty if I'm going to use any. Sometimes I just throw primer on. Depends if you get air bubbles and so on. Let's see how good this does here. time lapse, but I want to start from the outside, work my way in. I want to keep my edges feathered and then build up as we need. And then I'll do all these, and I'll probably put in a newer piece of paper, sanding disc. I jumped ahead and did the fender right there. We had them bubbles, sanded that down, fixed it. This back fender well, same thing. I'm using Rust-Oleum black primer, something I had. I'm going to do a light sanding. I'm going to sand the clear coat so it can blend up and blend down. And then we'll mix up some paint when we get ready. And we'll probably shoot all these spots with at least 2 coats after I do this hood repair, a little bubble there, this fender peel here. I think there's an issue with the door right in the same spot. And right here is one. So, not too bad. I got 2 hours invested. So far I didn't buy any material. Stuff I had on hand from other projects. But I am going to order some paint, and red is pretty expensive. I think I can get it on eBay. It's a little bit over $100 a quart. I can probably get a pint and have enough to do this, but I'm, you know, Mr. Panicky. I better have enough to do it, or if I don't sell the car and I want to keep it, I'll have a little on hand to do it again next season if I have to. So I'll probably bring it back on when I'm ready to paint. Quick peek at the hood, left front fender, bottom of the door, and this little quarter here. Okay, we got the 1, 2, 3 spots on this side taken care of. And over on this side, I think we got the same. 1, 2, 3. And then we got the hood up here. That's drying. So the next thing to do is to wash it, and then we're gonna wet sand it, get it nice and nice, scratch up the clear coat, just give it a good cleaning anywhere in that area, and then we're gonna be ready to spray. So that'll probably be tomorrow. I got about 3.5 hours in on this, and I didn't buy any material so far, so we're on a good budget so far. I ordered the paint, and that's almost, let's see, a day away, so I might be able to do this tomorrow and get some spray on this thing. So we'll see if it comes.